Before Marcus and Elena got married, there was one thing perfectly clear in that house. Waffle, the 190-pound Mastiff, had already chosen his person, and it wasn't Elena. So she made a decision. She was getting her own dog. A girl, her words. What she got instead was Duchess. There are dogs that live in a house, and then there are dogs that are the house. Waffle was the second kind, a 190-pound English Mastiff with a black velvet mask and the slow, deliberate movements of a creature who had never once been rushed by anything. Not traffic, not thunderstorms, not the passage of time itself. Marcus had brought him home as a puppy 8 years ago when Waffle fit inside a laundry basket and Marcus fit inside a much smaller life. That life had since expanded. A house, a career, and eventually, Elena. Elena was sharp, funny, warm, the kind of woman who filled a room without trying. She also had one very specific complaint. "He doesn't even look at me," she said one evening, watching Waffle press his enormous head into Marcus's lap with the full gravitational weight of a small vehicle. "I live here. I feed him half the time. I bought him that blanket." She gestured toward the couch. "He uses my side." Marcus tried not to smile. He failed. "He loves you. He tolerates me. There's a difference." She crossed her arms. "You know what? Fine. I'm getting my own dog." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "And I'm getting a girl. Female energy only. Let the boys have their boys' club." She pointed between Marcus and Waffle. "I'll have my own." Marcus looked at Waffle. Waffle did not look back. He was already asleep. Deal. What happened next was not entirely Marcus's fault. He drove to the shelter the following Saturday with the best intentions. He asked specifically. He confirmed twice. He loaded the carrier into the back seat and drove home feeling like a man who had successfully completed a mission. Elena met him at the door. "What's his name?" she asked, looking at the paperwork before Marcus had even set the carrier down. Marcus blinked. "What?" "His name." She held up the adoption form. "Male. It says male, Marcus." There was a pause, approximately 3 seconds long, which felt much longer. "I may have glanced over that part." Elena stared at him. Then she looked into the carrier, where a pair of enormous brown eyes blinked back at her inside a wrinkled, fawn-colored face. He was maybe 40 pounds. He would not stay that way. "I already named him Duchess," she said flatly. Marcus pressed his lips together very hard. That's still a great name." She laughed, not a small laugh, a real one, the kind that bent her forward and made her grab the doorframe. Duchess wagged his tail exactly once, seemingly satisfied with the chaos he had already caused. Waffle, for his part, was unmoved. He watched Duchess enter the house from his position on the couch, a position he had occupied so long it had conformed to his shape like a fossil record. His eyes tracked the puppy across the room. His expression did not change. When Duchess approached and sniffed his paw, Waffle looked away. Not aggressively, not with any drama, just disinterest, the kind that can only come from a creature who has decided at a foundational level that the world revolves around him and adjustments are simply not on the schedule. "I see you," his stillness seemed to say, "and I have chosen to be unbothered." Duchess did not take the hint. Within 24 hours, he had attempted to share Waffle's water bowl. Waffle moved. He had tried to sleep against Waffle's back. Waffle relocated. He had brought Waffle a toy, dropped it directly on Waffle's nose, and wagged his entire back half waiting for a response. Waffle yawned. But Duchess was nothing if not persistent, and he had found in his short life that the humans were more receptive. The first time it happened, Marcus was on the couch reading. Duchess approached. Duchess assessed the situation, and then Duchess climbed, not onto the couch beside Marcus, but onto Marcus, arranging himself across Marcus's chest and stomach like a weighted blanket that had recently learned to breathe. Marcus couldn't move. He could barely breathe. He looked sideways at Elena. She was already grinning. "One day," she said sweetly, "he's going to suffocate you, and I'm going to find you like that, and I'm not even going to be surprised." "He's 40 pounds. He's growing, Marcus." "I see you still haven't subscribed. Honestly, that breaks my heart a little. Hit subscribe right now. You won't regret it." Duchess grew, slowly at first, then with alarming commitment. By month 4, 40 pounds had become 70. By month 6, 90. He did not stop climbing on Marcus. He simply got heavier each time he did it, like a recurring joke with increasing consequences. Elena documented everything. She had a folder on her phone titled, with great affection, "Evidence." But somewhere around month 7, something shifted. It was a Tuesday evening. Marcus was in the kitchen. Elena was on the couch, legs tucked under her, half watching something on television. Duchess padded in, looked around, and then, for reasons known only to him, walked directly to Elena, climbed up beside her, and placed his head in her lap. Elena froze. She looked down at him. He looked up at her. His tail moved once. She didn't say anything. She just slowly put her hand on his head. From the doorway, Waffle observed this development. He considered it for a long moment. Then he turned, walked back to the bedroom, and resumed his position on the bed that was technically Marcus and Elena's, but had become, by default, primarily his. Some kingdoms, his retreating silhouette suggested, are worth sharing. Marcus and Elena still laugh about the paperwork, about Duchess's name. About the afternoon, Elena called the shelter to gently ask if there had been a mistake, and the shelter worker said with great confidence, "Oh no, we're very thorough." They are not thorough, but it doesn't matter anymore. Waffle still ignores Duchess approximately 70% of the time. Duchess still climbs on Marcus with the energy of someone who has never once considered personal boundaries. And Elena sits on the couch most evenings with a dog's head in her lap, watching her husband slowly disappear beneath a second one. "You know," she said last week, glancing over at Marcus, who was barely visible under Duchess's bulk, "I think he loves you more than me." Marcus made a sound that may have been a word. Elena smiled. "Don't worry," she said. "I'm used to it." If you've ever had a dog who picked their person before you could pick them, is that love or just instinct? Tell me in the comments.